Chosen one, your pain wasn't in vain. Every tear you shed, every sleepless night, every moment of confusion, despair, and inner conflict, it wasn't for nothing. You were never walking through that valley alone. Even when you felt like you were surrounded by silence, the heavens were watching. The pain you endured became a sacred passageway, a refining fire that forged something powerful and unshakable within you. That process was divine, even though it broke you, because it also built you. You are now standing on the threshold of a major shift, a transformation so deep and undeniable that even those who once doubted you will have to acknowledge what has happened. You didn't go through all of this to be left behind. The struggle was not your end. It was your preparation. Before we begin, I invite you to watch this video all the way to the end. Let it speak to your heart. If you feel a stirring within your spirit, if you feel something resonating deep inside you, write your warmest wish in the comments and add the number 77. This is a chapter about wishes coming true and energizing the universe. Your words, your intention, your energy matter more than you know. When you write them with faith and belief, they echo into the cosmos and attract the alignment you've been waiting for. Now take a deep breath and receive this. What's coming into your life is not random. It's not luck. It's not coincidence. It is the divine timing of a shift that has been in motion for years, perhaps even before you were born. Every delay, every betrayal, every rejection you faced, it was rerouting you. It was never denial. It was redirection. You were protected from what you couldn't yet understand. The doors that closed weren't punishments. They were preparation. You were being set apart. You were being hidden in plain sight for a reason. You may have felt like the underdog, the forgotten one, the one who constantly had to fight battles no one else could see. But what you didn't know is that the fight was shaping you into someone the world wouldn't be able to ignore. The path you've walked isn't for the faint of heart. That's why you were chosen. Not because you were the loudest, the strongest, or the most obvious, but because your heart carried a depth, a purity, and a resilience that the world desperately needs. The universe has been conspiring on your behalf, even in your silence, even in your pain. Your story is not a tragedy. It is a transformation. And that shift you've been sensing, that strange feeling that something's about to happen, you're not imagining it. You're stepping into alignment. Everything that felt like it was breaking you was really remaking you. The people who hurt you didn't derail your destiny. They activated it. The places you were rejected from didn't weaken you. They sharpened you. Now look at yourself. Really look. You may not have everything you want right now, but you have become someone stronger, deeper, wiser. You are not the same person who entered the fire. You are the one who came out glowing. And that glow, that light, is a sign of the favor resting on you now. It's a new era for you, an era of clarity, of expansion, of breakthroughs. The pain made you dig deep. It forced you to find strength you didn't know you had. You learned how to keep going when there were no cheers, no applause, no recognition. You learned how to believe when everything around you looked like defeat. You stood in faith when fear was screaming in your ears. And now you are being rewarded. Not just in the form of external blessings, but in the restoration of your spirit, in the quiet power of peace that cannot be shaken. This is your reminder. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where you need to be for what's coming next. The shift is not small. It is massive. It is the kind of shift that redefines everything. And it starts within you. It starts with a change in perspective, seeing your past not as a weight, but as a womb, not as a grave, but as a garden. What grew in your darkness is about to be revealed in your light. Let go of what tried to hold you back. Release the guilt, the shame, the regrets. You've carried them long enough. They served their purpose. Now, it's time to release. The version of you that was shaped by survival can now rest. The version of you that's rising now is one of vision, peace, and power. And that power didn't come from ease. It came from endurance. You didn't quit when it hurt. You didn't give up when you were overlooked. You didn't lose your heart when the world tried to make you hard. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you chosen. That's what makes your story sacred. You walked through fire and didn't become bitter. You became better. The tears you cried were watering seeds that are now bursting through the soil of your life. You are entering your season of visible growth. The harvest is inevitable. The blessing is unstoppable. What was once buried is now blooming. And it's happening right in front of those who thought you were finished. They didn't realize that your silence was sacred, that your waiting was holy, that your delay was divine. There is a rhythm to the universe, a divine cadence that orchestrates the unfolding of purpose. You have not missed your beat. Your time is arriving, not a second too late. And when it comes, it won't trickle. It will pour. Because what's coming to you is not just about you. It's about every soul your light will touch, every person who will be inspired by your resilience, every life that will be changed because you decided not to give up. Chosen on, listen to me closely. You are not who your past says you are. You are not the sum of your scars. You are the living proof that beauty can rise from ashes. You are evidence that brokenness can become brilliance. You are a walking miracle. And miracles don't happen in comfort zones. They are birthed in chaos, in pain, in pressure. And now that you've survived all that, it's time to thrive. The shift is not coming. It's already here. You are standing in the early stages of breakthrough. Stay grounded. Stay open. Stay faithful. You're not returning to who you were. You're rising as someone new, someone anointed, someone aligned, someone awakened. Let the old fall away. Let what no longer fits slip from your hands. You don't have to beg for what's yours. You don't have to chase it. You attract it by being aligned with your truth. And your truth is powerful. Your truth is sacred. Your truth is that you were never ordinary. You've always been chosen. This is just the beginning. You are stepping into a space where what once confused you will suddenly make sense. The dots that never connected, the seasons that felt wasted, the heartbreaks that seemed pointless, now they begin to form a map, a divine roadmap that reveals you were never lost, only led. The hands that once felt empty from loss are being prepared to receive more than you imagined. You're not walking into this next chapter empty-handed. You're walking in with wisdom, with power, with clarity, and with a divine appointment on your life. Everything you endured was creating a capacity within you to carry more responsibility, more light, more purpose. Some people cracked under the weight of less, but you carried it. Quietly, without applause, without shortcuts, without losing your soul. That's why this next shift isn't a fluke, it's an answer. You didn't ask for easy, you asked for purpose. And now purpose is finding you. Chosen one, you are being positioned, not just for success, but for significance. There were moments when you almost settled, when you almost chose comfort over calling, when you almost believed the lie that maybe this was it for you. But something deep inside wouldn't let you quit. that something was your spirit, connected to a divine plan so much bigger than your fear. And now that same spirit is rising. It's waking up to the truth of who you are. You're not broken beyond repair. You are being rebuilt beyond recognition. This season isn't about proving yourself to others. It's about owning your evolution. You don't need validation to take your next step. You don't need permission to rise. The very fact that you're still standing is evidence that you were built for this moment. What broke others, you survived. What destroyed others, you turned into determination. You are not here by mistake. You are not listening to this by coincidence. The message is reaching you now because you are ready. This is a divine reminder that the pain didn't end you. It elevated you. And with that elevation comes revelation, a new awareness of your value, your worth, your strength. The shift that's happening within you is going to manifest around you. Your thoughts are shifting. Your energy is changing. Your discernment is sharper. You're no longer available for things that dishonor your spirit. You've outgrown versions of yourself that were rooted in survival. Now you're walking in vision. Now you're listening to the voice of your future instead of the echo of your past. And that voice is calling you higher. It's calling you into rooms you once felt unworthy to enter. It's calling you to build things no one in your bloodline has built. It's calling you to rewrite the narrative, not just for yourself, but for generations after you. The shift is not just about what you'll receive. It's about who you'll become and who will be freed through your breakthrough. You were hidden, not forgotten. Protected, not punished. Delayed, not denied. Every detour was sacred. Every closed door was a blessing. Because if you had gotten what you thought you wanted back then, it would have distracted you from your deeper purpose. And now that you've grown, your desires have changed. Your spirit is more mature. You see beyond the temporary. You no longer chase approval. You walk in authenticity. You no longer fear loss because you understand alignment. What's meant for you will never leave you. And what leaves was never meant to stay. The people who walked away, that was divine. The opportunities that fell through, that was protection. The relationships that didn't last, that was redirection. It hurt. It humbled you. But it didn't end you. And because of that, it's birthing something powerful. You have stepped into a frequency of favor that cannot be manipulated. You don't need to perform. You don't need to strive. You simply need to be who you are becoming. The chosen one who walked through darkness and didn't forget their light. You were born to rise, not in arrogance, but in purpose. Not to dominate others, but to shine your light in dark places. Your story will be a testimony. Your scars will be sacred signs of survival. And your journey, every twist, turn, and trial, will be the proof that something greater was always guiding you. That force is still guiding you. And it's not done yet. What's coming is going to make sense of what you lost. The joy will return. The peace will settle in. The overflow will arrive. You don't need to worry about how it will happen. That's not your job. Your job is to stay ready, to stay aligned, to stay grounded in truth. Keep your heart open, even when it's been wounded. Keep your spirit soft, even when the world tried to harden it. Keep walking forward, even when you're unsure of the path. Because the path knows where you're going, even if you don't. And the path you're on now is leading you to restoration. Not just for what was taken from you, but for what you never even knew was waiting. It's not too late. You're not too old. You're not too far behind. Divine timing has no deadline, and your timeline is not measured by man's standards. What seems delayed to the world is right on time in the spirit. That's why the shift feels intense, because it's pulling you out of what you thought was safe and into what is sacred. Your spirit is being called higher. You're no longer available for mediocrity. You're no longer dimming yourself for the comfort of others. You are done apologizing for your light. Chosen one, you were not built for easy. You were built for impact, and impact often comes through isolation, pressure, pain, and uncertainty. That's what shapes warriors. That's what forges visionaries. And you, whether you realize it or not, are one of them. You are being anointed for something that will ripple beyond your life. This shift is more than personal. It is generational. It is spiritual. It is legacy. The reason your path was so different is because your purpose is so different. The reason your trials were so intense is because your calling is so high. The reason it felt like no one understood you is because they couldn't. Not yet. They weren't supposed to. You were being cultivated in secret, trained in silence, prepared in private. But now, what was done in the dark is being brought into the light. You're not hiding anymore. You're not shrinking anymore. You're not doubting anymore. This is your rising. There's something awakening in you now. Something sacred, something fierce, something pure. It's not the same energy that fueled your survival. It's deeper. It's rooted in truth. It's the quiet strength that comes from knowing who you are and what you've overcome. The world may never fully grasp the weight of what you carried, but you do. You know the nights that tried to break you. You know the thoughts that fought to silence you. You know how many times you had to breathe through pain no one saw. And still, here you are, not only alive, but rising, stronger, wiser, more awake than ever. This isn't just a comeback. This is a rebirth. You aren't returning to what was. You are stepping into what is divinely designed for you. You've peeled back the layers. You've unlearned the noise. You've disconnected from what no longer serves your spirit. And in doing that, you've made room. Room for real joy. Room for deep peace. Room for divine connections. Room for blessings that are tailored to the version of you that has evolved from the ashes. Your silence wasn't weakness. It was sacred space. It was where your soul began to whisper truths the noise of the world drowned out. It was in that quiet space that your spirit grew. You learned that peace doesn't come from answers. It comes from alignment, from trust, from surrender. You stopped fighting for control and started walking in faith. And now, your alignment is activating divine acceleration. Things are going to start moving. Doors will open without force. People will come into your life who feel like home. Opportunities will align so effortlessly, you'll have no choice but to acknowledge the divine hand behind it. And this time, you won't question if you're worthy. You'll know. You'll walk through those doors with quiet confidence, because you know what it took to get here. You know what you lost. You know what you endured. And more importantly, you know who you are now. The shift that's happening isn't loud. It's internal first. It's the way your thoughts have changed, the way you see yourself differently, the way you've let go of needing to be understood, the way you've stopped chasing and started attracting. This is what it means to be in your power, not the kind that dominates others, but the kind that commands peace, alignment, and divine favor. People may not recognize you. That's okay. You didn't go through all of this to remain the same. You are being reintroduced, not just to the world, but to yourself. There are parts of you that were buried under trauma, under fear, under conditioning, but they are rising now. The you that is bold, the you that is intuitive, the you that trusts, the you that leads, the you that loves from a place of fullness instead of desperation. You will no longer beg for places at tables that were never meant for you. You are building your own. You're not trying to fit in. You're creating space. You're not living from fear. You're living from faith. You're not waiting for validation. You're rooted in truth. That is the shift. And once that happens, everything outside of you begins to realign. What you once chased will now find you. Not because you manipulated it, but because you embodied it. This embodiment, this full, whole version of you, it is magnetic, it is radiant, it is powerful beyond measure. It speaks without saying a word. It shines without demanding attention. It simply exists in truth. And that truth is what moves mountains. That truth is what breaks generational chains. That truth is what unlocks doors no one can shut. You are walking in that truth now, and nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop what's aligning for you. You'll notice how much peace you have when you stop explaining yourself, when you stop seeking closure from those who were never meant to understand you, when you stop shrinking your light to make others comfortable. Peace has become your new standard. And peace is the proof that you're aligned. You're no longer addicted to chaos. You're no longer trying to fix what was never yours to carry. You've released the need to be liked in exchange for being free. There's a certain stillness that comes with healing, a calm knowing, a groundedness that can't be shaken. You've found that place, and from that place, you'll build. Not from fear, not from pressure, but from vision, from intuition, from love. You've learned that when you try to force what's not meant for you, it breaks you. But when you surrender, what's meant for you flows to you. That flow has begun, and it will continue. Everything that's unfolding now is a reflection of the inner work you did when no one was watching. The shift may seem sudden to others, but you know the truth. It's been happening for a long time, quietly, deeply, consistently. You've been planting seeds in secret, and now it's harvest time. The fruit will speak for itself. The results will be undeniable. Not because you shouted, but because you surrendered. You've become a vessel for divine flow. That's why things feel different. That's why you're more sensitive to energy. That's why you're uninterested in anything that feels fake or forced. You are becoming so attuned to truth that anything out of alignment immediately feels heavy. You are now guided by resonance, not logic. You don't need to understand everything. You only need to feel. If it aligns, your soul knows. This wisdom, this deep knowing, it's your compass. It will guide you through unknown waters. It will show you which doors to walk through and which to walk away from. It will tell you when to rest, when to speak, when to move. Trust it. It was born through your trials. It was shaped in your suffering. It is reliable, and it will not fail you now. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world tried to make you forget. You are powerful, you are worthy, you are called, and the shift ahead will only confirm that more and more. Let others question it. Let others doubt. You don't need their agreement to walk in your calling. Your spirit already said yes. That's all that matters. Stay open, stay aligned, stay present. You're not going back. You're going forward into something extraordinary. The signs have been all around you, but now they're undeniable. The shift isn't coming. It's here. You can feel it in the way your spirit no longer tolerates the things that once drained you. You can feel it in your body, the pull toward peace, the need for silence, the release of people, places, and patterns that no longer match your frequency. You're not the same person who started this journey, and that's not a loss, that's growth. There is something sacred about becoming, not rushing, not forcing, but simply allowing the layers to fall away. You're not chasing a better version of yourself, you're revealing it. The real you was always there, the pure, powerful, divine soul that was buried under expectations, under trauma, under limitation. Now, the light is returning to your eyes. Now the clarity is clearing the fog. Now you're starting to remember who you've always been. There will be people who don't recognize this version of you. Don't let that shake you. Some people only knew you in your survival state, when you were dimming your light to protect yourself, when you were carrying wounds you hadn't spoken of, when you were walking through the fire but still smiling through the smoke. They won't understand the new boundaries, the new glow, the new language your soul speaks. Let them go with love. Your evolution is not up for debate. This new chapter doesn't require explanations. It requires embodiment. You no longer need to speak as loudly because your presence now carries the authority of experience. You are not repeating cycles. You are not attracting the same lessons in new forms. You are walking in new territory. And with that comes new laws, new energy, and new rewards. What used to trigger you now teaches you. What used to distract you now reveals itself clearly for what it is. You're operating from discernment, not desperation. The shift is not only emotional or spiritual, it's energetic. It's restructuring everything around you. The delay, the tension, the sudden changes, all of it is part of the calibration. The universe is organizing circumstances to align with who you've become, not who you were. And that's why it feels unfamiliar. You've never been here before. But don't fear the unknown. This is what you asked for. This is what you've been prepared for. This is the divine reward for not giving up. Every time you stayed soft in a hard world. Every time you chose love when hate would have been easier. Every time you healed instead of projecting. The universe took notice. And now, it's time. The energy you've poured out in secret is returning to you in visible ways. You're going to see it. You're going to feel it. You're going to live it. Because this season is about fulfillment, not just survival. This is your harvest season, but it's not just about reaping what you sowed. It's about realizing that what you planted in pain is blooming in power. The tears that watered the ground have made the soil sacred. That's why what's coming will be beautiful. It will carry depth. It will be saturated with meaning. It won't be surface level. It won't be temporary. It will be rooted, intentional, divine. And you'll recognize it when it arrives, not because of how it looks, but because of how it feels. It will feel like peace. It will feel like home. It will feel like alignment. It won't feel like anxiety masked as opportunity. It won't feel like chasing. It won't feel like convincing or begging or losing yourself to be chosen. It will feel right. You won't have to ask if it's for you. Your spirit will know. Chosen one, the loneliness was not a punishment. It was preparation. It was in that solitude that you learned to hear your own voice again. It was in the silence that you realized the noise was never your truth. And it was through that isolation that your connection to the divine deepened. Now you walk with a confidence that doesn't need external proof. You walk with presence, with clarity, with inner wealth. Not everyone will understand this shift. You're not meant to be understood by everyone. Some were only assigned to your past, not your future. Let them stay behind without resentment. You're no longer carrying what doesn't belong to you. You're no longer anchoring yourself to people who choose stagnation over transformation. You're being freed, and with that freedom comes responsibility. You must protect your energy. You must guard your peace. You must say no with as much confidence as you once said yes to things that depleted you. You've earned the right to rest, to celebrate, to receive. Let that be okay. Let it be safe. You are not being called to prove your worth. You are being called to embody it, to walk like you know who you are, to speak like your voice matters, to live like your existence is a divine contribution to this world, because it is. The shift is not just elevating your life, it's refining your identity. You no longer need to play small to be accepted. You no longer need to explain your evolution. Those who are meant for you will see your heart through the light, not just through the wound. And they will love you for the entirety of who you are, not just the parts that are easy to digest. This new space is sacred. It is protected, and it is yours. Stay faithful to your path. Stay honest with yourself. If something feels heavy, ask if it's yours to carry. If something feels misaligned, trust that feeling. You are not imagining the shift. It's real, and it's leading you into divine alignment, into unseen blessings, into a version of yourself that has been waiting to be revealed. You didn't come this far just to look back. You didn't survive just to exist. You are here to thrive. Let the old fall away without resistance. Let the past go without guilt. Let the new come in without fear. You are ready, more than ready. You were born for this transformation. You were shaped by every flame you walked through. And now, the fire no longer burns you. It fuels you. You've become something unshakable, something radiant, something chosen. There's a quiet power in you now, not born of ego, but of experience. It's the power of someone who has known deep sorrow and chosen to return with deeper compassion. It's the steadiness of someone who has walked through the fire and come out refined, not destroyed. That's what sets you apart. Not that you've avoided pain, but that you've allowed pain to shape you, not break you. You've been through seasons where everything seemed uncertain, where every step felt like a gamble, and every day brought a new reason to give up. But you didn't. You stayed. You endured. And not just endured, you evolved. You've become the evidence that resilience is real, that faith is real, that transformation is real. So much of what is happening now is invisible to others. They may not understand why you've changed. They may not grasp the depth of what's happening beneath the surface, but that doesn't matter, because you're not doing this for validation. You're doing this because your soul demanded it, because your future required it, because the life you're stepping into cannot be built with the patterns of the past. That's why the shift had to happen from the inside out. That's why you had to break before you could rebuild. That's why you had to be emptied of false beliefs, of attachments, of distractions, so you could be filled again with truth, clarity, and peace. This process wasn't punishment, it was purification. And now, what's left is real. What's left is solid. What's left is divine. You're not waiting for permission anymore. You're not holding back out of fear of being misunderstood. You've stepped into a new kind of freedom, the freedom of being fully yourself. And in that space, everything aligns. Not perfectly, not without challenge, but authentically, beautifully, in a way that can't be forced and doesn't need to be. The universe is responding to this version of you, not the masked version, not the one who shrank or apologized for their brilliance, but the one who knows, the one who remembers, the one who listens to their intuition even when it doesn't make logical sense, the one who walks away from what looks good but feels wrong, the one who chooses integrity over acceptance, truth over illusion, and faith over fear. You've become a lighthouse now, not because you sought attention, but because your light is a natural result of all you've walked through. You shine because you survived. You shine because you healed. You shine because you kept your heart open in a world that tried to harden it. That light is not just for you, it's for others too. Your story is hope. Your journey is medicine. Your presence is a reminder that beauty can rise from the broken. But make no mistake, you are not just a symbol of survival. You are a vessel of transformation, a living testament that pain has a purpose, and that when you surrender to the process, it always leads you higher. This shift you're in is not a random blessing. It is the result of spiritual alignment, deep healing, and courageous choices. You've come to understand that being chosen doesn't mean being favored in the way the world defines it. It means being refined, being trusted, being stretched beyond your limits so you can hold the weight of the calling on your life. And you're doing just that. You're carrying it with grace, with humility, with strength that comes from knowing that even if no one claps for you, even if no one understands, you are still worthy. You are still enough. You are still chosen. Your energy has shifted. That's why the old can't come with you. That's why certain connections are falling away. That's why you can't fake it anymore, can't tolerate the inauthentic, can't betray your truth just to fit in. You've outgrown the version of yourself that was built for survival. Now you're stepping into the version of yourself that is built for expansion, for abundance, for impact. And yes, there will still be challenges, but you're not the same person who used to fear them. You're not afraid of endings anymore, because you've seen how endings make way for divine beginnings. You're not afraid of being alone, because you've tasted the power of your own company. You're not afraid of starting over, because you know what you're made of. What once terrified you now empowers you. You've become fluent in your soul's language. You know what your body feels like when you're aligned, and what it feels like when you're betraying yourself. You can sense energy shifts before they arrive. You can discern truth beneath the surface. You don't need signs anymore. You are the sign. You are the proof that healing is not only possible, it's inevitable when you commit to your truth. So stand firm in this new season. Don't second-guess it. Don't apologize for it. Don't try to shrink it to make others comfortable. This is what you prayed for. Not the exact form, perhaps, but the freedom, the clarity, the joy. It's here, and more is coming. What's unfolding is not just about you. It's about the ripple effect of your evolution, the lives you'll touch, the legacy you'll leave, the energy you'll pour into the world simply by being freely yourself. You were never meant to stay hidden. You were never meant to settle for a life that didn't resonate with your soul. That's why everything broke, not to destroy you, but to awaken you. And now that you're awake, everything must change. Everything will change. And this time, the change will serve you. It will honor you. It will reflect the truth of who you are. Chosen one, your pain was not in vain. It was the soil in which your strength took root. It was the fire that forged your clarity. It was the pressure that brought out your essence. And now, everything is shifting. Not just around you, but through you. You are becoming the very miracle you once hoped for. This is your time. This is your shift. Walk in it boldly. Receive it fully. And never forget, everything you went through wasn't just so you could survive. It was so you could lead.